Welcome to a brand new episode of the Men's Cave on the Faith Acquire Show. Super excited to be here. I am your girl, Faith Acquire. Well, today's episode, we're going to be going very personal and we're bringing it down to Nigeria. Now, the 2023 election showed that Nigerians are not as non-tribalistic as they look before, or maybe it's just my head playing with me. So yeah, we're going to be talking about tribalism and how it affects relationship, from marriage to just friendships to, you know, just normal relationships. And I have my guys here with me, and trust me, they are always ready to give it to you back to back. So I don't want them to introduce them, I'll introduce them for you. Right here is our normal guest on the show over here with everything, with all the back and forth, with every bass that he has available. He's here for you. How are you doing today?
I'm alright.
Soft is here. And right here I have with me Ayo Deji. How are you doing, Ayo?
Very good.
Amazing. And just to my far left I have Sheye. How are you doing?
I'm cool. I'm good.
Amazing. So we're not going to be wasting so much time because we have so much to talk about in little time, and we have to just touch on everything tribalism. I know Ayo here is Yoruba. Over here, you're what? Do you want to cast it? so let's not cast it. Over here, let me start off with you. Did you ever think the Nigerians were as tribalistic as you saw them during the elections?
Well, particularly, I wasn't surprised, and for the obvious reasons. I really still don't believe that we're totally homogeneous, because evidently we're heterogeneous. We have a lot of tribal groups and cultural, ambiguities. So it wasn't quite surprising to see the way it played out when we had an Igbo man going for presidency, and then some people didn't want him to become president because they were Yorubas, and then we had the Igbos definitely not supporting the Yorubas. There are a lot of undertones, but I'm pretty sure we'll touch upon that a lot more. But I would say I'm not surprised, but I'm just a little bit disappointed that Nigerians evidently showed that, they didn't want to grow from their cultural affiliations. If you look at the average Yoruba man will tell you, let the Yoruba man go there. The average Igbo man will tell you, same with the average Hausa man. So how do you become a nation if you're still in that mindset?
And there's so much division.
So, but then, it's funny because the people that run this nation, the rulers, the rich ones, are not quite tribalistic. That's the funniest thing. People that run this nation, you see them, Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, are all together, sitting on the same table, eating and drinking. Then they will now cause a divide with the masses. So it's pretty sad.
Yeah, let me get to you because you're a Yoruba guy, and I'm going to put you on the hot seat. We had over, I can't count how many presidential candidates we had, but the major ones we knew at that point was Tinubu, Peter Obi, and Atiku, right? And the Yoruba people were going more for Tinubu, or let's say a large number of Nigerians were going for Peter Obi, and then some were going for Tinubu and the rest of it. And after the elections, a lot of people have said that Yorubas are more tribalistic than any other tribe in Nigeria. Do you agree with that? And if why, if you agree, tell me why.
I agree with that, because a lot of
I was going to receive flogging today, but no worry, continue.
Yeah, sure. I know I'm going to get a little bash after this video, but then I need to say the truth. Our older folks, our mom and dad and all that are Yorubas. They will always be like, I have to say this in Yoruba, Efeta Boyin, Efeta Yoruba and all that, because they don't see the new Nigeria that we see. It is not about Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, or whatever tribe. It's about togetherness. And that played a lot in this last election, because beyond the youth that are clamoring for Peter Obi, we even see a young Hausa person too that is also clamoring for Peter Obi. I'm not saying that an Hausa person is not supporting the Yoruba person, but I think that togetherness is more with the youth than the older folks.
Share, do you think that Yorubas are more tribalistic than any other tribe?
Yeah, I don't want to believe so, because one thing, the concept of tribalism as a whole, in this country, is something I believe is caused or triggered by cases of injustice. Because when people don't feel that their interests are being represented, in a particular context, so everybody will want to protect their own territory. So, but in a situation where people feel that, that their interests can be well represented, and that they will have a sense of belonging in what is happening in the scheme of things, so people will definitely want to
align and seek national interest. But with the way things are going on in the country, whereby people are not getting justice, and a lot of people's rights are being segregated in a way.
Yeah.
So people will definitely want to clinch to that race that they belong to.
That they belong
But
to.
when the Nigerian nations is taking the issue of justice as a serious thing, we can now begin to have that concept of national interest at heart.
At heart. We had GRV, one of the governorship candidates, have a lot of controversy when it comes to, being Igbo or not being Yoruba, being half Igbo and being half Yoruba, and there was a lot of clash on social media. So let me get to you. Looking at how much of these tribalism conversation is beginning to penetrate into our own personal lives. Do you think you can marry a tribe that is not yours, or somebody out of the regular tribe that you think in your head that your parents will want you to be with?
Okay, first off, when you're thinking of marriage, you're not just thinking of yourself. You're not just marrying a person, you're marrying a family. So I personally don't have a problem with any family. Even if you're my tribe and you're from a terrible family, I will not marry you. If you're Hausa and you have an amazing family, I would marry from that. Same with the Igbos, same with any other cultural division in Nigeria. I feel like he said, tribalism comes a lot from people's interests not being articulated properly. And over time, you start to think about how this affects the culture of the nation at large. We're supposed to be a nation. There are over 100 languages in this country. But that doesn't naturally project us positively, because you would think the diversity should be our beauty. We have a lot of tribes. We should be able to come together and live harmoniously. But technically speaking, if you really look back in the history of Nigeria, then you would find out how the country was orchestrated, how it was planned, how it was even built. It's quite questionable. So this whole tribalistic thing where a Hausa man would naturally want to marry a Yoruba man, the Yoruba person, it didn't just start in the last 50, 60, 70 years. Because if you really critically analyze it, Yorubas and the Far Eastern people, before the British came, were not quite homogeneous. Like, it wasn't like the unity wasn't there. We were forced to come together in a way. So it's not like, it just came overnight. Even Yorubas were even discriminating amongst Yorubas. Yes. You see natural Yoruba man say, you were sorry for the people that are from Eguns. You say, Lofe Egun. Or you see an Ikale man and say, when's gonna marry an Egba woman? So, like he said, it's a lot about a lot of people not being, being articulated their interest. But as regards marriage, I feel like it's a lot bigger than, I want to marry someone from this tribe. It's the family good. So, moving forward positively, I'm pretty sure young people, we didn't go through the Civil War, we didn't go through the amalgamation, we didn't go through the independence. So we're born, probably some 30-something years ago, when Nigeria was already established in quotes. So we are just looking for a family that can make us happy and peacefully coexist.
Let me stop you there. Ayo, you are a Yoruba guy, right? Almost all the girls you have dated, have you ever dated an Igbo girl or an Hausa girl before?
I have.
You have. Do you think that your parents would have allowed you to marry an Igbo girl?
No, for me, I don't have issues with whatever tribe, whether Hausa, Yoruba, or whatever it is.
Correct guy.
I don't have an issue. But left to my parents, like I was saying, like I said earlier about the older generations, you see, these are our new Gen Z. They don't care about tribe.
We don't face war now.
But then, our older generation, they are always so particular about things. Growing up, I'm an Ekiti guy. They told me growing up that I should not marry somebody from Ogun State or Abeokuta or thereabouts.
Wow.
They told me that. So it's not like it is something that most parents will always want to. I would say they are one of the major problems we have when it comes to this tribalism. Because they will always want to find the story or find something to counter that tribe.
Shaya, do you think that a Yoruba man can go to the Igbo land to become governor? Do you think it's right to become governor or buy land or become something as a force to be reckoned with? Because we had that issue, because I'm using Lagos State more because Lagos State has different tribes. We have different people from different places. A lot of people feel like Lagos is like no man's land. Like nobody owns it. But Yorubas are standing up to say, yeah, this is our land and we don't really want an outsider to become governor or whatever over us. So do you think that it's right to have, somebody from another state or from another tribe rule when we are clamoring for a one Nigeria?
I think, in my own view, it's something that shouldn't be difficult, but the fact remains that the handlers of our society, I mean the government, they are making it difficult.
Shayes, I'm going to do something. I want you to tell me what you personally think, because this conversation that we're having right now is way beyond what the system we have. If you can agree with me, we have little or no power to actually change what the system can do, except we have one voice. So do you think personally that it's right to have an Igbo man come to Lagos to rule, or go to Ogun State to rule, or go from Ogun State to Yoruba man, go to Anambra?
He did. He did the military time. He did.
It's, what's it called? The thing is that, like I said, Nigerian society have not grown to the level of that, because even in our, what's it called, if you want to go for a job, like I wrote one poem. I say that, like, it's so sad that even in this century, like, employers are still asking for your state of origin, still asking for your, what's it called, years of experiences in this age of the internet. So the thing is that Nigeria have not matured
to that
point where we can accept that, oh, somebody should come from this tribe. Because, for instance, you started the example of Lagos. Lagos is a cosmopolitan city, and if you have been a part of a city that that embraces all kinds of people, and you've invested in that city, you've been a part of that city, nothing should stop you to be the leader in that.
So you think it's more of competence than the tribe?
Yes. Anytime, any day, it is more of competence. We always say one Nigeria, but when it comes to important positions in Nigeria, then we forget about the one Nigeria. Then it becomes, no, you're from Yoruba, no. But then, like during this last election, I was telling some of my friends that elections will go, then we'll come back to our normal life.
And then we'll face.
Yeah. So you say because of it is the Peter Obi, the Tinubu and the likes that you are fighting for. Then after the election, will you not go to an Igbo guy to get gym from him? Or will you not go to the next shop to you, probably an Igbo or Hausa, or will you not even the Fura and all those things? Some Yorubas, some Igbos, they take that too. Will you not buy from the person because it's Hausa? So, but then when it's election time, but you see these leaders, when probably one of them is getting married or their child, they will always be together, whether it is Peter or Obi. But then we Nigerians will be the ones who fight over it. It's competence.
So as we wrap up today's episode, because we're having so much of this conversation, I feel like the conversation is broader than what we think. Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Faith Inquiry Show, and make sure to tag and comment. Let me know what you think about this whole tribal thing. Now, to wrap up today's episode, how do you think we can move on from this? Because a lot of relationships have been damaged. I have close to 2 friends on the block list because I feel like they were not. No, you can say it's petty, but I felt like a lot more was more than just the tribe. It was more about the person, the competence, how much. If somebody has to put so much power and so much violence to making sure that he stays on a seat.
For me, I didn't even reply most messages during that period.
So I feel like
I never tried to. For me, I even held a very somewhat weird view about the entirety of the election. First off, the election was funny to me because we had Wazobia. It was literally a Hausa man, an Igbo man, and a Yoruba man, which was very annoying for me. So I'm like, what else do you guys expect? Do you understand? So, because even in the East, Obi was literally sweeping through everything. I don't think that at any point would you expect Tinubu to win in an Enugu, or you expect Obi to win in an,
Oh, we still had some Igbos that were against Peter Obi.
No, I'm not arguing.
Yes,
the majority weren't.
Yeah.
So my point is, if you go to the Hausa land too, the majority were supporting Atiku too. So my point is, if you're talking about moving forward from tribalism, and then at the end of the day, you're still going to be giving candidates by political parties that are tribalistic, what are you going to do? If PDP gave us Hausa, we wouldn't have the issue of tribalism. If PDP gave us Yoruba, if LP gave us, or APC, these parties are the ones that zone and do the whole thing and control the
So you think that is already...
The parties control the narrative of tribalism, I think cultural appropriation, and everything. So then once they will drive it to you, and then...
Shall I want to say something?
I think another thing is, what's it called? I don't think Nigeria or the Nigerians that we call ourselves, I don't think we really know the nation itself very well. You know, because there are some people who have stayed all their life in the Southwest and they are in their 60s.
Yeah.
Yes.
So somebody like that, and you can't tell somebody like that that okay, an Igbo should be a president, and the person would agree. And from my own personal experiences, I think from the ladies I've dated.
Share. Wow. Nice one.
I have
Nice
more
one.
peace, you know.
Shout out to his exes.
I have more peace with my Igbo girlfriends than my own Yoruba.
True. Not
So-
entirely true though.
Because from my own experience, I just realized that the Yoruba lady that I've had encounter, a lot of time, they get to be too
Materialistic.
emotional in terms of culture and, you know, religious wise.
Okay, so before the lady starts to get really itchy, let's wrap up to this episode, right? I know we have so much to say.
We need to talk.
We will certainly talk.
Let's
There'll
go.
probably be a part 2
Yeah,
of this
definitely.
conversation. Make sure to follow us across all social media
Follow.
platforms.
Follow.
Ayo, give me your last word. What do you think is the way forward to moving from this tribalistic era that
For
we're
me, the
in?
way forward is if we all, as Nigerians, whether young or old, Gen Z or whatever it is, if we can support that one Nigeria, that togetherness that we have always clamored for, then
I kind of feel like that's like
That's just-
may happen yesterday, if it's yesterday, but I don't know how it's going to happen. And I hope that our children do not
Yes.
face what we are facing right now, because that is what our parents they want us to face, but they didn't really have the guts to actually stand up. I'm just saying. I know millennials will come for me, but I don't care. Gen Zs, thank you so much, millennials. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Faith Equary Show. We had so much fun in the studio today bringing this to you. We're going to continue in the conversation, and make sure to follow us across all social media platforms at the Faith Equary Show. And make sure to follow me also at Faith Equary. And follow my guests too. I'll be dropping their links or their names, their usernames down below. Thank you so much. I'm Faith Equary. Bye, guys.